According to my time-space calculations, this review should be uploaded on the 3rd of November 2023. Now, at the time of recording, the BBC still hasn't announced when the 60th anniversary specials are going to air on television, so for all I know, this video could arrive amongst the hype, you know, fingers crossed. Hey, future me here, just jumping in to say that about 5 hours after I wrote and recorded that, the BBC actually announced that the first of the 60th anniversary specials was going to premiere on the 25th of November. It's so long to wait. I can't afford Disney Plus. And so, why do I get the feeling like I was just interrupted with a slightly bald version of my future self? Well, anyway, speaking of modern Doctor Who, bit of a monumental life update here. I finally caught up with the modern series of Doctor Who. Since I stopped watching it in 2017, I've had nothing to do with the modern show. The last episode I saw was the return of Dr. Mysterio, and that was it. And so here I am, I've finally caught up with all of this. I miss when they used to just release one season in a DVD or Blu-ray and not spread them out like this. But in case you're wondering on my thoughts, season 10, probably one of the better Moffat seasons. I didn't like Stephen Moffat back in the day, and kind of getting back into it now, I remember why, but this was not terrible. I enjoyed it quite a lot, actually. Aside from the 3-parters with the mummies, I actually thought that was ridiculous. Twice Upon a Time, another neat one. I liked Pearl as a companion. Don't quite like what they did with the first Doctor, which is funny because I didn't know much about the first Doctor before starting this review series, but now I do. Anyway, seasons 11 and season 12, my first time watching Jodie Whittaker. Absolutely loved Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. Thought she did a great job. All the complaints I used to hear over the years, like, yeah, I'm not saying they're not valid, but I still really like her Doctor, Yaz, and crikey, I forgot his name. Was it Dan? They're alright. But my goodness, Bradley Walsh, what a national treasure. I now love Bradley Walsh and his character. Graham. So good. But yeah, these 2 seasons are pretty much lumped together. They've got some really good episodes in them. Some fantastic special effects, but also some serious duds that make me, like, just die inside. Revolution of the Daleks. Captain Jack's in this one. That was about all I can remember. The Flux I absolutely loved. To start with, if you saw my community post, then you know I really loved watching it for the first time until the ending that was just dumb and left so many questions, like, is the universe destroyed or what? Eve of the Daleks and Legend of the Fish People. Yeah, I hear that these are some of the worst received ones ever, but as I replied to someone recently, I'd just taken my sleeping tablets when I watched it at midnight, so I don't really remember it. Wasn't paying much attention. Power of the Doctor was good, decent, it's fine. I liked it well enough. I think the Chibnall era is probably, yeah, it's pretty weak, but there was some good stuff in amongst it. And that's probably the most exciting part of this video, is me unscripted rambling about modern Doctor Who. Because with that being said, it's time for the Masque of Mandarin, the maker of Monopoly. Give me a minute while I Google this.
Doctor Who, The Mask of Mandragora.
Seriously? It's pronounced mask. Whatever. The real question is it Mandragora or Mandragora? I don't care. The Mask of Mandragora is the first serial of the classic 14th season. A 4-parter from 1976 that nobody talks about. I wanted to turn it off after 2 minutes when Sarah Jane picked up the second Doctor's recorder and started making my ears bleed. I kinda wish I did stop watching. This clip of the TARDIS getting flushed down a cosmic toilet is a pretty apt representation of my feelings towards this serial. The TARDIS accidentally picks up a glowing red orb from the cosmic toilet, then dumps it in 15th century Italy, where a sinister cult seeks to utilise its power to, what else? Take over the world. And they do the old cliche try and sacrifice Sarah thing. Another day, another cult, another sacrifice. Poor Sarah. How many times is this? 3? Also, there's an uncle trying to screw over his nephew to claim a position of power as the Duke, and that's literally it. Nothing really happens in the first episode after the opening, aside from some really bad drumming. Like, come on, if you're going to get someone to do a drum roll, get someone who can actually drum, right? It's just like, bup, 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 bup. The second episode ain't much better. A boring cult, a boring red skybeam, boring Hamlet, or I suppose just Hamlet in that case. A really boring, poorly choreographed sword fight. Like, come on! I thought classic Doctor Who had moved past the bad fight scenes seasons ago, but this just drags it right back into the Aztecs again. The most exciting part of this is the bad guy's epic double beard. I'm jealous. Even in the dullest stories, I normally find something worth talking about. But not this time. There's nothing specifically worth disliking about it. I just found it so vapid and uninteresting. Subjectively boring. I couldn't even be bothered shaving for this review, not that you could tell with the terrible lighting. Even the cult members spinning around doing their little ritual is so ridiculously amateur, it's embarrassing. A wide shot where everything is perfectly visible, and they can't even keep time or stay in sync with one another. And they're even credited as dancers in the end credits. What? It really is a perfect example of the lack of care that went into important moments that should matter. The climax was so close to being entertaining before being utterly ruined by the out-of-nowhere Dr. Ex Machina rescue. What a joke. As usual, the costumes are elaborate and the sets are really good for the most part. But when costumes and sets are good, that can go a long way into making a great story even better. But when that's all you have to offer, you're left with nothing but a pretty picture with no substance. Insert anti-social media metaphor here. Sorry if anyone watching really likes this story. I'm willing to hear you out in the comments section. Please help me to appreciate something about this serial, because there's just nothing in it for me. The only two notes I have are that there's a new TARDIS console set, which I only mentioned because I have a feeling we'll be seeing it again, and the opening titles have a new font. Whoopee. Tell you what, there's a fascinating mini documentary on the special features all about the TARDIS that I really enjoyed watching. Then there's the cringiest cringe fest in all of cringedom, with another short special feature that takes about 10 minutes of pure unadulterated cringe to essentially say, the Mask of Mandragora is forgettable. It only took me 7 minutes to say that. Alright, Doctor, tell me your thoughts on this serial. Exactly. I seriously doubt many people will bother watching this review because who even cares about this story, right? It's not the worst thing ever, it just literally gave me nothing. At the time of recording, I'm going to go watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie now, so, yeah, wish me luck. See you next week while we bid farewell to a legend.